back to my next video. Today we're talking about 9 steps to take after you've gotten eviction notice. We're going through this time with the pandemic and the quarantines and the unemployment, and it's just so difficult to know what's going on. And so a lot of you have lost your jobs and now you're being evicted, and even if you're watching this later, you know, there's a lot of us have to go through evictions, and even if you're never evicted, these 9 steps will really help you to prepare. If you know you're going to become a nomad in the future, if you start all these now and work on them early, it'll be really simple. But these are the most basic fundamental steps that you must take to get out on the road and become a nomad. So I think it's really going to help you no matter what your situation. But it's July 2020, and so I think we're going to be looking at a lot of evictions coming up, and I really want to get this video out for you to help you. In 2008, after the last economic collapse, I got a ton of emails from people saying, I've just gotten my eviction notice, I'm living in my car, what do I do? This video is to answer that question. And I think it's because of the uncertainty of what's going on with the pandemic, it's more important now today than I think it was back then. There are more people unemployed, there are more people uncertain. Our future is just so unknown. I want to offer you hope and a way forward, whatever comes. This information will be good for you, even if you aren't evicted, but you want to become a nomad. And even if you're never evicted, if things get back to pretty normal, and hopefully they will, I think these steps will make your life better no matter what. And so I hope you'll find some value in these and take from them all that will do you good. If you're in an emergency situation, really hold on to these steps. Now, let me say really clearly that I'm not going to tell you how to cope with an eviction and moving into your car. That's the assumption I'm going to make. You're in desperate need. You've got to go now, no more than a month, maybe just a week or days, and you've got to move into your car. That's what I'm going to talk to you about. If you have a little more time, then you just drag these out and do a better job, not just in a hurry. But the key thing is, I'm not going to give you all the details. I can't possibly give you all these details in just this brief video. So what you need to do is take each of the steps and start doing your research on them. So I'll tell you to get privacy in your car or your van or your RV. And it's going to be up to you to then do the research and find out exactly how to do that, how to get the privacy on your vehicle, or all the things I'm going to give you. I'm not going to give you all the answers now. So let's go on with the steps. Step one. Step one is to make a mental switch. It's easy to think and for me to promote the idea of to be in survival mode. And if you've just gotten your eviction notice and you're going to be forced to live in your car, it feels like survival mode. And I'm going to tell you to do extreme things. And so, but I want you to try as much as you're able, and it's difficult, to switch your thinking from I'm in survival mode, disaster has struck, oh no, woe is me, it's terrible. It is terrible. This whole pandemic thing is terrible. But I would like and I hope you can make a mental switch, a switch in your head and in your heart that yes, I'm kind of in survival mode, but this is going to be a really big adventure. This is the adventure of a lifetime. If you've watched my videos, I have like a couple hundred of interviews and tours I've done with people. And the common thread among all of them, some of them are emergency survival situations where they're just desperate and have to move. But most of them are people who are kind of forced into it, but then fell in love with it. That's my story. I was forced into it, survival mode. I went through a divorce. I couldn't afford to live. So I moved into a van because that was the only way I could afford to live. But within 6 months, it had stopped being survival mode and had become wonderful adventure thriving mode. What I would like for you to try to do is right now make a mental and an emotional switch from, yes, this is survival mode, but this could be something wonderful. If you can do that mental switch, and I would even try to maybe make up a little, catch yourself worrying and fretting and, oh man, watch, this is so bad. Do a little tap of your heart and say, no, this could be really good. Make a mental effort, throw a mental switch. Imagine a switch in your brain and you switch it on and off goes survival mode and comes on adventure mode. This is going to be fun. It's not all going to be fun. They're going to be really hard times. You're going to have to crash course, get rid of all your stuff. You're going to have to move into your car, and your first night in your car is probably going to be terrifying. It's not always going to be fun. Sometimes it's going to be awful. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes for me it was awful. My first night in my van was awful. But I'm really sure that if you will throw that switch, and in the midst of the awfulness of that first night, if you can think, the adventure has begun. I don't know what's going to happen, but I believe there's something good will come of this. And I can almost guarantee you that if you'll throw that mental switch, it will be true. And so I hope you can. I hope you can throw that mental switch. That's step one. Throw the switch out of survival, desperation, hopeless mode into the best times of my life are around the corner mode. This is the most hopeful thing that's ever happened to me. Let's see what happens next. It's not easy. It's going to be some very unpleasant days, but the more you can do that, the more you'll see it happening and becoming true, and the easier it will become. And so if you'll do it now, you'll make as much as you can and are able, your days will become so much better. So number one, throw the mental switch out of survival mode into adventure mode. This is an adventure of a lifetime. Let's do it. So step two is stop spending money. Obviously, if you're being evicted, things are pretty rough. You're in a financial bind. So you need to stop spending money and start saving every penny you can. Every penny that you don't spend, if you have any money coming in, save that. Then you need to start selling everything you have that is of value. Now, how much you're going to be able to do that and how much you're going to be able to get for your stuff will depend almost entirely on the time frame. If you have 30 days notice, then hopefully you can sell quite a bit of your stuff and get the maximum value out of it. If you've been given a week's notice, a day's notice, then you're not going to be able to sell much. You got to get into your car and get out of there and get to refuge as fast as you can. But as much as possible, stop spending any money, only on essentials. If it's required for life and death, then spend that money and nothing else. And start saving every penny you possibly can and start selling anything of any value. So that's step two. Stop spending, start saving, start selling. Selling everything you possibly can that anyone would be willing to buy. Step number three. I know I said stop spending, but there are some things that are just going to be absolutely essential, and one of them is a gym membership. Find a national gym membership. So just do a Google search on national gym membership. Planet Fitness is one of the big ones, but there are many others, and I'm not familiar enough with them, but you need to have one locally. If there's not one locally, then it's not of much value to you because you're going to be forced to be living in your car or your van or your SUV or whatever you have. And so you're going to need to be able to go to the gym, get the normalcy of working out, and I would recommend if you haven't started working out ever before, start now. Now, again, you're creating a whole new life. You're switching the mode from survival mode to adventure mode to the best times of my life mode. And part of that might be going to the gym now, being forced into the gym on a daily basis practically. Go in there, work out a little bit, maybe run on the treadmill, and take a shower. You'll get healthier. Think about that. This could already right away start out to be a good thing. And so get a gym membership, try and get one that's nationwide, get a cheap one. Some of the, like Planet Fitness has some really cheap plans that are nationwide. And so do that research, and as time goes on, I can't really tell you to do that, how to do that now, because it'll depend on what you have locally. But get a national gym membership, very important. That's where you're gonna start going and taking your showers. And generally staying clean. And then as you travel more and as you become a nomad, it'll pay off. You'll be glad you have it wherever you go. The more places they are, the more places, try to figure out where you are going to spend most of your time and make sure they have lots of gyms are well represented in that area. So the next step in getting ready for eviction is to search for a safety net. And by a safety net, I mean someone that can help you in this time of pretty dire need. So it could be friends and family, it could be government, it could be a charity, local charity. So you're just looking for all the help you can. If you're being evicted, you're in pretty dire need. So you should be able to look for and take all the help you can get. First and foremost is friends and family. So remember, all your friends and family are probably suffering in exactly the same way you are. You know, they're out of work, or they're struggling with the isolation or with the fear. And so the one thing you do not want to be is a burden on them. So what I would suggest strongly is that you don't ask to move in with them. Just ask if you can park in their driveway. So you're going to move into your car, van, or RV, probably just a car. For most of you, maybe a van, an SUV, probably not an RV. And most people, that would be a struggle to put your RV in their parking lot. But a car, no big deal. Another car in your parking lot's no big deal. And so do not take advantage of them in any way, shape, or form. Don't be going in and using all their services. I'd say keep going to the gym. Only go in to be kind to them, to be, spend a little time with them. Everybody wants to be helpful. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of. You want to make sure that you know how grateful you are and that you're not taking advantage of them. You're just, you're in a kind of a need. They're helping you in this small way. You're parking out there. Ask them if you can run an extension cord. If you can run an extension cord, that's going to make an enormous difference. Offer to pay. Give them whatever they think it's going to cost them. After the first month or two, they'll know it's costing me $10, $20 extra a month. So make sure you are not a burden to them, but you're a help. Next is to look into the social safety net of the local government, the local county and city, and even state. Mostly this is done at the county and city level. And if you leave if you're out of state, a lot of time you lose access to that safety net by being a non-resident. So better if you can stay where you are for as long as you can, take advantage of the safety net, save all the money you can, because remember, you're not spending any money. Step two, you're taking and you're selling everything you can. The longer you can stay there, the more stuff you can sell, the more money you'll have in your pocket. Getting money in your pocket's really good. Keeping money in your pocket is critical. And so stay with your friends and family, stay in the safety net. At this point, you can probably be getting, hopefully getting unemployment if you're not working. There are food banks, because you're a local, that will be glad to help you. So take advantage of your local safety net for as long as you can. That's a big deal. And then there will be local charities who will be especially glad to help a local person. You're there, you're struggling, you've moved into your car. That makes you really eligible for a lot of help. So look for that help. Don't be thinking, I'm embarrassed and ashamed to ask for help. None of us asked for this to happen. If you had a job and you were working and you're getting by and all of a sudden the pandemic comes along, you're not to blame. Don't put the blame on yourself. Don't say I'm a bad person, I don't deserve help, I'm not going to take charity. If help is available, take advantage of it in these times of extreme need. And that's what this is. These are extreme times. Call for extreme measures, and helping each other and supporting each other. That's just to be expected right now. So please don't hesitate to take advantage of all the social safety net, friends, family, government, charities that you possibly can. I would really encourage you along those lines. So step 5 is to start dealing with your stuff. If you're going to be living in a car or even an SUV, maybe a van, you've got to have a very limited amount of stuff. You probably have way more than can possibly fit in there. And so here's how I'm going to suggest you do with it. In an emergency, you got a week, you got a day, maybe you got a month. If you have a month or more, then that, you can do a better job. But I'm assuming you got to do it right now. So clear out an area in your corner of your living room or your bedroom or some place in your apartment or your house, and you're going to put all the things you have to keep. These are essentials to me to live. And you're going to have this little pile of stuff that's going in the car or van. And everything that is not in that essential car or van stuff has to go away. Now remember, you're selling everything you can. The first way to get rid of something is to sell it. Craigslist, eBay, garage sales. Start holding a lot of garage sales. I mean, you'll be you and a lot of other people, but you got to get all the money coming in that you possibly can. So hold these garage sales, go to eBay, Craigslist, just in any possible way. Go to pawn shops. Chances are you won't get anything there. Do everything you possibly can to sell everything you possibly can. That's just the way it's going to be right now. And everything else, you're going to start hauling it at the dump. Uh, Offer it to family, friends. Most of them are going to be in the same position you are. They can't really take a bunch more stuff. But before you go to the dump, offer it to family and friends. In this situation where you're being evicted, I hope you don't have extra money to even think about putting into storage. If you have money, extra money to put in storage, put that in your pocket because you're going to need that money later on. Who knows how long this is going to last? Or whatever your situation is. If you're watching this in a year or two, who knows how long your situation will last? Put every penny you can in your pocket. Money in storage won't feed you when you're hungry. It won't put gas when you got to get to the next job or to the next situation. So money in your pocket is king right now. So sell everything you can. The rest give to family, friends, the thrift stores. The rest goes to the dump. And that's going to be a big job. Some of the sentimental stuff is going to be really hard. Take pictures, see if family and friends will want it, see if it's really valuable. Maybe a library would want to archive it. Probably not. Most of this stuff is not. It's what we think has been treasure to us is really trash to everyone else in the world. If you have kids, grandkids, and a lot of us do, don't burden your trash on them. They just have to deal with it and store it, and they've got plenty of their own. Believe me, we all do have plenty of stuff in our own. We don't need more to be dumped on us that we have to get rid of. So what goes in the essential pile? All the functions of your house you have to reproduce now in your car or your SUV, or maybe with your lucky you have a van. You got to reproduce all those things. So the very first thing is you have to have a bathroom. You know, you got to go to the bathroom. And so you're going to need to devise a system. Again, I'm not going to cover all the ways of going to the bathroom, the best ways in a car or van. Lots of videos on my channel and other channels. So watch those channels, watch those videos, watch my videos, and then decide this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a small 1-gallon bucket, and I'm going to get a coffee can, a plastic coffee can, and that's what I'm going to pee in. Whatever you're going to pee and poop in, that's what goes in the car and nothing else. So first off, you have to replicate all the parts of the bathroom. You have to stay pooping, peeing, staying clean. You're going to have to, and all your personal toiletries. You got to have all those things. No excess. There can't be excess because you're going to be living in the car. If you try and cram everything you want to have in your car, you're not going to make it. So just enough to stay clean. You're going to need some shampoos. You're going to be going to the gym, so you're going to need some towels. So just the absolute essentials of what it's going to take you to be living in your car. Keeping yourself clean, going to the bath, whatever you're doing in the bathroom, you have to replicate that. So in this pile of stuff, you're going to have to stay cool in the car, so that means first and foremost clothing. You're going to have to have 4-season clothing because even going in the desert, you're still going to have some cool temperatures. So you're going to have an absolute minimum amount of clothing, but you've got to be able to cover rainy days and cold days and hot days. So a sun hat and a stocking cap to keep you warm. You're going to have all these things. That's just the way it works. Important considerations when you think about your clothes is have just a few colors, matching colors, so you can mix and match. You can appear to have a lot of clothes when you don't really have very many clothes. They need to be very durable. You can't have a lot of dress-up clothes. I mean, where are you going to go dress up? You're going to be living in your car. That's not what you're going to be taking with you. I would suggest having a maybe 2 or 3 pairs of shoes at the most. I carry sandals for the heat, hiking shoes for when I'm out walking. Slippers, I really recommend down booties. That's part of dealing with heat and cold. So just 2 or 3 pairs of shoes at most, few tops. So you're going to have to go to the laundromat more often because you can't have all those clothes. And so you're going to wear them multiple times. Really important thing is that you be prepared to cook. You're going to be living really cheap. You got to keep every penny you can in your pocket, not spend a penny. And so you probably aren't equipped to cook, and this is maybe one of the things you have to buy. I recommend the little butane stoves. They come in a little box. They're like this. They're small. They're portable. You can take them outside and cook outside. Be times you don't want to cook in your van when it's hot, or in your car. Car's very small to cook in. So you might want to be able to cook outside, sit outside. Your car in particular, SUV, even van, is to live out of. And so you're going to want your cooking kit to be small and light and portable, and you go outside and cook and you take it back in. You got to be able to cook because you got to keep that money in your pocket. Money in your pockets, now your goal. by not spending, by earning wherever you can, by selling everything you can. So look around your kitchen, find all the essential things that you can use to cook. You're going to need at least a pot. I would say, you know, like a 1-quart pot and maybe a 10-inch frying pan if you have that. You're going to need some plastic spatulas or whatever you use. I don't know what you use. You're going to need some silverware, maybe a plate or two, absolute minimum of everything. Just enough for you to survive on. You're going to want to do cooking, but you want to make it as easy and as pleasant as you possibly can. And we're all different. You know, maybe you're used to cooking and dishwashing, and that's just going to be fine with you. So whatever works for you, but an absolute minimum amount of things that go in your pile for cooking. You're going to need to be buying food. You're going to need to be able to carry food and water with you. If you're probably going to be living in the city for a while, and so you're going to be able to go and buy fresh, for a while, I wouldn't worry about getting a fridge or a cooler. That's just down the line. If you're going to be living in the city at a friend's house, you're not going to go in and use their fridge because that's an imposition, and that's something that will pretty quick make them wish you weren't there. Go to the local market, buy the food for that day, the fresh foods, the meats, cook that. You're going to be living really cheaply. And so you're going to need water. Probably buy 1-gallon water jugs. So have 2-3 gallons of water. Just go to Walmart, buy that initial gallon. So, you know, you're looking for this cheapest, smallest, lightest, least that you can get in your van, but you got to have those needs met. All right, then let's talk about health and beauty supplies. Again, you're not taking your whole makeup kit. You're not taking all the shoes you own. You're not going to take your very best clothes. You're going to make sure you have all the things you need. You're going to have toothbrush, toothpaste, just the essentials, just the absolute essentials of health and beauty things that you can get in a small ditty bag. Now, it's going to be really essential that you keep contact with the world. So in this pile of stuff that's essential that you have to keep, first and foremost will be your smartphone. I mean, your smartphone can get the internet for you. You can watch movies on it. You can do emails. You can do texts. You can do phone calls. Your smartphone is going to become the very center and core of your life. So you've got to be able to charge your smartphone. I would strongly suggest a couple of little battery packs. The big ones work really well. I would recommend one of the big 26,000 milliamp hour ones. Get them as cheap as you can. Plug them into your car. Most of them are USB charged, so you can plug them in the car while you're driving. You can charge that, keep your phone going. A pad, if you have a pad, that's ideal. It gives you more usefulness. And with your iPhone or your smartphone, maybe a Bluetooth keyboard, because you're going to be your primary device staying in touch with the world. Being able to type easily is very handy, so maybe you'd want to really think about a Bluetooth keyboard. If you have a pad, that makes entertainment and staying in touch much better. A big 9-inch pad looks really good. Watching that in your car, watching video on that is really a good experience. If you have your laptop, you're going to be expecting, you're not going to probably be set up with electricity for a while. You're not going to be able to charge it. You can get an inverter, and while you're driving, you can run your laptop while you're driving. Keep your battery charged off it. It's the adventure of how little you can spend. It's not the survival mode. Remember, we're throwing this switch in our heads. It's not a survival mode of, oh, poor me, I don't have any money, I'm broke, I got to just barely survive. No, this is an adventure. How cheap can I live? How much extra can I save? Where can I find a job and make a little more money? How little can I get by on? I'm going to be the best minimalist in the whole world. This is an adventure in minimalism. You know, flip that switch on survival. Oh, woe is me, I can't have my favorite makeup, I can't have my shoes, I can't have all my tools, I can't have all my guns. No, yes, this is an adventure in absolute minimum living and thriving with less. Being happy with an adventure within, being happy inside with who I am. Not the things outside. They don't make me happy. It's the things inside that make me happy. And so that's your new adventure, not of lack of suffering, but of seeing just how much inner strength and inner peace you can find in yourself without depending on the outside world. So again, throw that switch. That's number one. That's step number one. And in every step, it's a part of every step. Throwing that switch. I'm not broke. I'm not poor. I'm not destitute. I'm seeing just how little I can live with. Wow, I can live with very little. It's an adventure. This was just the first video of 2, so come back now and watch that second video. It should play automatically after this one. If not, you could go and find it. So thanks so much for watching. I hope this helps you and feel not so hopeless and helpless in this really difficult time. And whatever your situation is, that it gives you a direction and hope to go forward. That's always my goal and my prayer in everything I do on this channel. So if you got anything out of this, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you on the next video. See you then.